This week on eNEWS, exotic animals stopped by Exhibition Park over the weekend, Lethbridge College gets a groundbreaking donation, and we take a look at how much food Canadians waste. Hello, welcome to eNEWS. I'm Chase Maley.
And I'm Megan McCoy, and here's today's top story. Lethbridge College has received a donation from the federal government worth almost $250,000. The donation was not in cash, though, instead was in the form of a collection of 110 soil monoliths from Agriculture and Agri-Food Canada. The college believes their practical value to students is worth far more than its monetary value.
We've valued it at about $250,000, but really it's priceless because these soil monoliths can't be recreated. Some of them, as was said, some of the places that the soil came from has been paved over by now.
As a Crown asset, the collection required the approval of the Federal Minister of Agriculture. The transfer was approved a year ago, and the collection made its way to Lethbridge last summer. The collection is located on the third floor of the college's Cousins building, just outside of the Souls Lab.
Lethbridge College is helping Southern Albertans stay mentally healthy. As CESLOMP reports, the Mental Health Commission of Canada says about 30% of short and long-term disability claims in Canada are attributed to mental health problems and illnesses.
From assisting in mental health recovery to battling her own mental health challenges, 24-year-old Miranda Payne has been struggling mentally for much of her life, but accepted and came to grips with it in 2015.
Basically, I probably always had mental health issues growing up, but I didn't start realizing it until probably like 2015, 2016 was when things started to hit rock bottom for me.
When it hit rock bottom for her, she was in university. She says she was working too much and developed a phobia where she didn't want to leave her house. She just shut down.
Would rather die than leave my house, so I was basically shutting down at that point, calling in sick to work, basically canceling on friends, making excuses, lying. It was like a big beach ball, like blown up with air, and she was like trying to push it underwater. But like no matter how much you push it down, it just pops back up.
After accepting that she had a mental illness, Payne sought medical help and tested positive for mental illness. It was a hard pill to swallow.
For me, having to be that person who's vulnerable, and like I felt weak at that point because I couldn't manage my own stuff.
Payne explains with her degree in psychology, she understands why she had to attend therapy and to take medication, but she didn't want to. Lethbridge College Health Promotions Coordinator Harmony Jones says just accepting that you have a mental illness can be the first step of recovery.
A diagnosis brings them a lot of relief because it's finally an answer as to how they've been feeling or what they've been going through.
After Payne's diagnosis, she took medication and attended therapy. 2 years later, she graduated from university on the Dean's List, a significant feat for her because of everything she'd been going through. Payne says support groups helped a lot.
Developing your support group is really, really, really important, and I see that with my clients as well as in myself. Like if you have a strong support group, recovery is possible.
CESLOMP, eNEWS, Lethbridge.
Currently, Payne attends Lethbridge College, where she takes prerequisite courses for the nursing program.
Lethbridge College also helped employees and employers to make sure their workplaces are mentally healthy. If mental illness is left unmanaged, it can lead to other workplace-related risks, including more accidents, workplace violence, and disability. The college says breaking the stigmas of mental health needs to be done to make the workplace more mentally healthy.
It is so important to remove that barrier when someone is experiencing a mental illness, especially when it's time to come back into the workforce.
Morden adds employers should provide training to handle someone battling a mental illness in the workplace.
The city of Lethbridge and its citizens are taking steps toward reducing food waste. According to a recent study, nearly 60% of food bought by Canadians is wasted before consumption. Skylar Peters reports on how significant issue is in the country and how long it's been addressed locally.
Look in any Canadian's fridge and you're bound to see an abundance of great food. What one may not realize, however, is how much of that food will find its way into the garbage having not been consumed. A recent report from Toronto agency Second Harvest found that 58% of food Canadians buy goes to waste. That amounts to over $1,600 per household every year. Logan Cher is the owner of the Urban Grocer, a small-scale grocery store in the heart of Lethbridge. She says a lack of awareness in supermarkets plays a big part in the issue of food waste.
So because we're smaller, I do all the ordering, you see the inventory move, you know what's in the store, and smaller quantities, you're just more aware of what you have.
The Urban Grocer is proud to sell fresh meats and produce from local sources. Cher says a shorter supply chain means less opportunities for food waste. She adds, smarter shopping habits are just some of the ways consumers can take steps to reducing their waste. Environment Lethbridge says some solutions to this growing waste problem are easier than you might think. For example,
I would encourage everybody to learn what best before dates mean. Best before dates are not expiry dates. They are simply dates the manufacturers put on about what their assessment is of when the product tastes the best.
Food waste has long been accepted as a necessary evil in the food industry. However, developing smart habits can save the environment and save you money. For eNEWS, I'm Skylar Peters.
Environment Lethbridge is currently working on a series of community gardens where Lethbridge residents can grow their own produce.
The Government of Canada has released an updated Canada Food Guide, and it includes some significant changes. Highlights include reducing dairy consumption and promoting plant-based proteins instead of those found in meat. The guide encourages eating more home-cooked meals as opposed to restaurant meals. However, Chef Doug Overis says the Lethbridge College cafeteria menu will be unaffected by the changes.
Our focus for cooking is to get students to prepare from scratch, cook from scratch, serve and cater to our guests from scratch.
If you'd like more information on the food guide, visit food-guide.canada.ca.
And still with food, the annual Iron Chef competition last week celebrated community roots using ingredients almost entirely sourced out of southern Alberta. Created to mimic the popular television show, the chefs at Mocha Cabana competed for the best overall dishes in appetizers, soup, entrees, and desserts. The community was invited to enjoy a night of food and wine while also judging their favorites of the 8 courses. Customers, management, and staff alike agree the event creates opportunities for the city and surrounding communities.
And all 3 of our Red Seal chefs are graduates of the Lethbridge College Culinary Program, and we give them an opportunity to create and compete against each other for some prize money and for bragging rights.
Cabana says it will continue to support institutions and producers in the city and host the event, the Iron Chef competition.
The pressures of the second semester are setting in, but the Learning Cafe is ready to help students pull through and get through the academic year. Derek Kendall got a chance to catch up with Diane Fortbottom to discuss seminars the Learning Cafe hosts.
Welcome to Campus Horizons. I'm Derek Kendall, joined by Learning Cafe coordinator Diane Fjordbottom. Diane, you were telling me there's a bunch of different seminars that the Learning Cafe hosts every year. Is there any new ones this semester?
Yeah, we have 2 new student success workshops that just started this semester. One is called Understanding College Classrooms, and the idea is that we're hoping to help students to understand more about the expectations and the conventions and things like that that are part of being in a post-secondary situation as opposed to high school.
Perfect. Do you have any more of would they be more popular workshops, like things that are more attended?
One of our most popular is APA Basics, because many students have to do papers and assignments with APA citations. So lots of students are interested in finding out about that. Another popular one, I think, is managing your time. Another popular one, I think, is improving memory. Lots of people find that they would like to learn a few strategies that they can use to more easily remember the information they have to learn in college.
Perfect. And If they're looking, like students are looking to register or find more information on the workshops, where's the best place for them to go?
The Learning Cafe homepage has the schedule posted and descriptions of the workshops and a register here link, so the students can do that. If they are interested in attending but they didn't register already, they can certainly come even without having pre-registered. And if the schedule just doesn't work for them, they want to have the information but they can't get here at the scheduled time, they can come and make an individual appointment and get the same information presented one-on-one with one of our strategists.
Perfect. Is there anything else you think you'd like to add?
Thank you for having me.
I'm Dara Kendall with Campus Horizons. Thank you for watching.
Thanks, Sarah. Coming up next on eNEWS, Exhibition Park has unveiled the events it's planning for this year, and a dog rescue is helping our four-legged friends find forever homes. Stay with us.
The Lethbridge Historical Society is a group dedicated to preserving the history of Lethbridge since 1888. We work in partnership with the city to put up plaques honoring historic buildings. By joining as a member, you can help ensure history is not forgotten. The Lethbridge Historical Society gives you a chance to write history in books and create fun events. Together, we can celebrate the past and change the future with Lethbridge Historical Society. You may even leave a mark on Lethbridge history. For more information, go to lethbridgehistory.org.
Pride is a little piece of me.
Pride is a little piece of us.
A little piece of me.
Pride is a little piece of me.
A little piece of me.
A little piece of me.
Pride is a little piece of me.
Pride is a little piece of us.
Why are you even trying? You're so stupid. No one's gonna miss you. Everyone hates you. You screw everything up. You're not alone. Come get the help you need at Crossroads Healing Center. We provide professional counseling and health services for all who come to our agencies.
Hello, it's your weather host here, Aaron Baines, here to bring you the weather for this week. So, on Monday, we have light snow with -7 degrees Celsius during the day and -13 degrees Celsius during the night. Tuesday, we have some sun, but some clouds. -6 degrees Celsius during the day, -9 degrees Celsius during the night. On Wednesday, we have -3 degrees Celsius during the day and -9 degrees Celsius during the night. It's also sunny. Thursday, it'll be sunny again with lots of clouds. -4 degrees Celsius during the day, -11 degrees Celsius during the night. Friday, we'll have light snow once more. -4 degrees Celsius during the day and -11 degrees Celsius during the night. That's the weather for this week. Thank you.
Thanks, Aaron. A Southern Alberta pet rescue organization is in the midst of making the circuit of Lethbridge pet stores in hopes of finding new dogs homes. Misty Creek Dog Rescue is not a profit operation that supports man's best friend big time. Dara Kendall stopped by to find out more.
Misty Creek Dog Rescue is based out of Carmen Gay, but recently started bringing their animals to Lethbridge. This past weekend, the rescue stopped by the Pet Value store on the north side of Lethbridge and had a successful adoption day. Over the 3-hour event, 2 dogs found new homes, and the majority of the rest of the dogs had applications submitted to adopt them.
Our main focus down in Lethbridge is to get dogs adopted. So we look for foster homes down here, which will eventually help our dogs get adopted into their forever homes as well.
Halliday and her sister recently joined the rescue and started weekly adoption events in the later part of 2018. She says their efforts have been very successful and many dogs have gone to forever homes.
Misty Creek relies on donations to keep their animals fed and their vet bills paid, so the support they receive from local pet stores is invaluable.
They're really proactive about finding animals homes, and there are so many out there, they need them.
Misty Creek will continue to be at different locations around Lethbridge. You can find a list of where they will be and what dogs they have available for adoption on their website.
Misty Creek Dog Rescue partners with pet stores all around Lethbridge to come out and try and get dogs like this beautiful baby Maple adopted. For eNEWS, I'm Dara Kendall.
The no-kill shelter has been open since the late 1990s and saved over 6,000 dogs.
Lethbridge also hosted some exotic animals over the weekend. Riley McCormick is standing by with more on that story. Riley?
Megan, over the weekend, Lethbridge Exhibition Center was home to Little Ray's Wildlife Festival. It's a traveling event that teaches kids about exotic and domestic animals. I had the chance to meet some of them. The Expo Center was filled with 30 different exhibits showcasing wildlife from all around the world. Guests had the chance to see a wide variety of animals, including owls, a sloth, and caiman. The walls of the exhibits were lined with information about the animals within and other species from around the world. Child-friendly informational sessions were held twice every hour about different animals. One show was about reptiles and allowed kids to interact with a giant reticulated python, a black tarantula, and a juvenile caiman.
You might not believe this, but TikTok might actually be smarter than Kayla.
The interactive lessons were a big hit with the crowd. Kayla Segan has been with Little Ray's Nature Center for almost a year and is the primary caretaker for Chloe, their two-toed sloth. She says her career with Little Ray's started after she saw the good the company does.
They came to my city, so I figured I'd volunteer and check them out, and later I learned of how amazing of a company this is, being the largest exotic rescue in North America, going from city to city, getting to educate the public as to why we don't want these animals in captivity or as pets.
Chloe was a crowd favorite. There are many other animals on display, but Chloe was without a doubt the star of the show. What makes all the animals on display here even more special is the fact that they're all rescuees. Little Ray's Nature Center doesn't take animals from the wild. They take them from places where they're not being cared for properly. Part of the purpose of the exhibit is to teach people about the importance of taking care of animals in the home and others in the wild. Little Ray's Wildlife Festival travels from place to place educating people on exotic animals. They stayed in Lethbridge for 3 days. Their next destination is Red Deer.
Did you get to pet the sloth?
Nobody was allowed to touch the sloth other than the handler. I did, however, get a pretty good picture with her.
Thanks, Riley.
Exhibition Park has unveiled its schedule events for 2019. The park announced upcoming events like the South Country Co-op Ag Festival, a home and garden show, Aggie Days, and the return of Sunday farmers markets and more. There will also be new addition to Whoop Up Days Summer Fair. The newest event is the addition of the Stage X Music Festival.
Some of those details are still being withheld, so our artist announcement will come on April 2nd. At that same time, we'll announce our ticketing pricing, and there will be a little bit of a change in the ticketing strategy this year.
The park is hosting popular attractions, Ribfest and Oktoberfest, once again this year.
The City of Lethbridge hosted the 11th annual Global Game Jam recently. The event requires participants to make a video game centered around a theme in under 48 hours. This is the second consecutive year the event has been held in Lethbridge. Participants designed, programmed, and created original sound effects and music for their games. This year's theme was What Home Means to You. Organizers say this year's event sparked a lot of interesting ideas for participants.
Another game that's based on coming out of the shower with no pants. You got to avoid the people in the homes, so they all have like a charm to them.
Some games from the Game Jam may even move on to become more refined and available to the public for purchase. Still ahead on eNEWS, a local home doubles as a concert venue, and how cheers filled the NMAC Center last weekend.
At the Last Chance Cat Ranch, our mission is to find a forever home for abandoned or homeless cats. We provide a safe, loving environment where cats can play and socialize with other cats. We have plenty of friendly, lovable cats that are waiting for a new companion. If you're thinking about adopting a cat, come to the Last Chance Cat Ranch. We need your help to ensure these cats will have a forever home. Come into the Last Chance Cat Ranch today and save a cat's life. Together, we can make a difference.
I'm so sorry. You are my best friend, but there is no other way. I can't keep up with the bills. I can't afford to keep you.
Only 1 out of every 10 dogs born will find a permanent home. We need your help. Visit Windy City Canine Rescue today to be part of the change.
Why are you even trying? You're so stupid. No one's gonna miss you. Everyone hates you. You screw everything up. You're not alone. Come get the help you need at Crossroads Healing Center. We provide professional counseling and health services for all who come to our agencies.
In sports, Lethbridge College continues to dominate the ACAC South men's volleyball division. The Kodiaks have won 18 matches in a row and are looking to lock down the #1 seed for the playoffs. I had the chance to talk with the team members about their expectations for the remainder of the season. Lethbridge College has played an outstanding season of volleyball. The Kodiaks rolled through Briarcrest, winning 6 sets to 1. So far this season, the Kodiaks are 18-0 and show no signs of slowing down. With 6 matches left on the season, head coach Greg Gibbos says the team is taking it 1 game at a time.
We're just focused on the next match. So we know we have another opponent coming in here on Thursday with Ambrose, so we're prepping and preparing for them.
Kodiaks outside Dax Whitehead credits the team's success based on how tightly knit the team is and how hard they work together.
Just guys putting in the effort every day. Greg does a lot outside of practice time to get us prepared, and the guys themselves just kind of getting in practice, then getting engaged during game time.
The Kodiaks are looking to lock down the first seed going into the playoffs and hope to win their division. For a long-term goal, the team is starting to think about nationals and what they can potentially achieve at that level.
So our program's never been the #1 seed before, so it's really important for us to get that and kind of give us the best chance to qualify for nationals.
The team has set high expectations for themselves and is excited for the playoffs to start. They hope to continue their winning streak until the very end. The Kodiaks will end their season February 16th when they take on the Olds Broncos. The last time these two teams faced off, the Kodiaks swept the Broncos 6 sets to none.
The Imagine Cheer and Dance competition had athletes bringing a show of something new to Lethbridge. Hosting athletes from all over Alberta, the day was composed of 3 separate competitions to accommodate all the teams. I was at the event and found out cheerleading is finding a home in the city.
The Lethbridge NMAC Center was filled with over 2,000 participants on Saturday, competing in the 4th annual Imagine Cheer and Dance competition. With the support of cheer-related businesses from throughout southern Alberta, the competition has grown more than anyone expected it would since its debut in 2016. Cheerleading started out in the late 1800s and has since become less about cheering on other sports and more about owning its own specific skills. Yet organizers say cheerleading is a new and inclusive sport they would like to see more of in the city and even on a more global scale.
Hoping for the Olympics in 2024, 2028, and I think it's the right time for cheerleading in this city to start.
The strong competition in Lethbridge had most teams beginning training as early as June and all throughout the summer. Teams from all over Alberta attended and participated in the event for some friendly competition and to celebrate the sport. A first-place winner in the competition with the microburst team, Anthony Cross, says his teammates performed well and got to experience their favorite parts about cheerleading.
My favorite thing is the atmosphere. You don't have any other sport that's like peppy and like all enthusiastic like cheerleading.
Ages in the competition ranged all the way from 2 years old to Lethbridge's own university dance team. Future events can be found on the NMAC's website. For eNEWS, I'm Megan McCoy.
Smaller cheerleading competitions take place monthly in Lethbridge. Information on similar events can be found on the NMAC Center or Exhibition Park websites.
A lot of work goes into throwing a house party. Even more goes into putting on a concert. Now combine both of those two things together, upwards of 30 people plus a band and all of its gear in your living room. Exhausting, right? Residents and neighbors of the West Side venue, The Flat, have dealt with all of these intricacies on a nearly monthly basis for the past 8 years. Michael Rodriguez has the story of how the residents of the residential concert venue manage.
The Flat has been hosting concerts in this living room since 2011. While the occupants of The Flat have changed in that time, they have kept the tradition of hosting shows and weekly community dinners since the inception of the house as a community hub.
Yeah, the house just gets transformed every once in a while. We don't host shows too often that it becomes wearing on you, obviously, because it is a lot of work to set them up, and that's why we've kind of limited ourselves to once a month max.
Lyden Hayes Sparks, who moved into the house last September, is one of the newest occupants of The Flat. Although his experience living there is limited, and he just participated in his first show last week, he says he loves the community dinners he and his roommates host.
But we try to get a number of people who are going to come and then make enough food for everyone. We hang out. Sometimes we watch a movie afterwards, play games. We have tons of boards games and stuff like that, and just kind of mix and mingle, meet new people. It's fun.
Kopis says artists find out about the venue mostly through word of mouth. Kopis is the longest standing resident of The Flat, having lived there since 2016. He says they are often approached by artists who are looking for another place to play between larger shows.
Artists are often looking for places to play on Monday and Tuesday early in the week where they aren't usually playing at bars and stuff. So the fact that we can give them a meal and give them a place to stay really cuts down on their costs a little bit, so they're usually pretty grateful for that.
Kopis says they collect a cover charge at the door, but all proceeds from the event go to the artists that they are hosting.
So we just collect $10 from everyone. I guess it's not required to be here, but all that money just goes right to the artist. We don't take anything from them. And oftentimes, if turnout is a little bit low, we'll even give them a little bit more from our own, say, bottle fund.
With an average of 30 people per concert, and on occasion up to 100, that can amount to a hefty chunk of money going straight towards touring artists. For eNEWS, I'm Michael Rodriguez.
The Flat hasn't announced its next show yet, but Say Something is always in the works, and its community dinners are held weekly on either Friday or Monday. Keep an eye out on their Facebook page at facebook.com/theflatlethbridge for upcoming dinners and concerts.
And before we go, it's been a busy 2019 on social media so far. Here's Kayla Parker-Harvey with the top trending topics of the year to date.
Hey guys, I'm Kayla, and this is your trending hashtag. To start things off, let's talk about the longest government shutdown in U.S. history. U.S. President Trump has signed a short-term spending bill. This will reopen parts of the government until February 15th. This happened after 35 days of being shut down due to the demands of the funding for the wall. Up next is the biggest trend so far in 2019, the 10-year challenge. It has a lot of people buzzing about it and how much they've changed, but also has people wondering if the challenge is all part of an elaborate facial recognition algorithm. Facebook has denied their involvement, but what do you think? Last, we have the nominees for the Grammys on February 10th. The list was released and there are some big names in various categories, including Cardi B, Drake, Post Malone, and so much more. Who are you voting for? And that's that for that in what's trending in the hashtag world. To join in on the conversation, you can go to Lethbridge Campus Media on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter to have your say. I'm Kayla, hashtag out.
So Chase, who are you voting for at the Grammys this year?
Oh, I'm definitely voting for my man Posty. Post Malone's an awesome artist. How about you?
I think I'm gonna have to go with Drake. That Scorpion album just killed it this year, and I would love to see him take home a win.
Not even Cardi B?
I don't know. I like Cardi, but I'm always here rooting for Canadian artists.
That's fair. I don't mind Drake either. I think that's all the time we have for this edition of eNEWS. I'm Chase Maley.
And I'm Megan McCoy, and we'll see you next time.